Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nikki. This will be one of my official first uploads for my life. It will be a walking, living diary. So initially, when I decided to actually vlog and do videos, I had decided that I would um, like vlog my trips and events and things that I did when I was going outside. But of course, this is a pandemic, so we're no longer going outside. So, since the pandemic has came in, I have gotten pregnant. And I just like to do a diary of things, that are going on with my pregnancy. So this channel will still be regarding about my life. But right now it's just going to be, about my pregnancy. I'm 37 weeks pregnant currently right now. Let me see if I can get you to see my belly. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it a little bit. Okay. And so yeah, basically I'm gonna be this is just gonna be a diary about what I'm going through while I am pregnant. And currently, like in this pregnancy, I decided to leave my OB. So this video will just be about why I left my OB to go to a midwife. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so when I first found out I was pregnant in May, I, I started going to the OB, right? I had already had a primary care doctor, and they had a certain OB that they had transferred me to, right? So as I'm going to the OB, I'm a research girl. So before I actually do anything, I always research. I always research it, whether it's food, uh, events, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, any type of business I'm involved in, I do a lot of research and I read up on it. So the OB they had, it's gonna remain nameless, but the OB that they had transferred me to, it had a lot of bad reviews. So I was a bit skeptical, not just because of bad reviews, but also because of who I am, right? And when I mean who I am, this is, I mean who I am, basically, okay? So, malpractice, especially with pregnant black women, has been a thing. Medical malpractice. So I was skeptical on that alone. Well, I was going into the OB for about, let's say, I think I was going in there for about like 6, 7, no, because about 8 months, I was going into the OB. My very last visit was very strange. Now, at first, I was like, okay, you know what? He's kind of cool. My guards were they were up high, right? But as I was going to more and more appointments, basically, my guard would get lessened. It would get let down, right? Well, my guard wasn't all the way down at the my last visit, like in November 30th. Okay, so I go into the office, right? The week prior, this man had already taken a hypoglycemic test, which is for high blood pressure. They check to see if you have high blood pressure. So when I took the test, he was like, "Okay, well, if anything is wrong with you, then I'll give you a call. If not, then no news means good news." I said, "Okay, cool." I never got a call. So my very next visit, I go in there, and it's a nurse that I've never seen a day before in my life, because I have seen the same doctor the whole time I had been there for the whole 8 months. So some nurse comes in, right? And so she's like asking me all these questions. So she's like, are you, are you okay? Have you been having this? Have you been having headaches? Have you? So I'm like, well, yeah. I was like, I have had headaches, right? She's like, oh, you had headaches? And I'm just like, yeah, I have had headaches, sometimes. She's like, when? I was like, in the morning times. She was like, oh, really? Well, that's signs of COVID. So I'm like, why everything have to be COVID? Everything is not COVID. Like, you can't even have a headache anymore. You can't cough or sneeze anymore because everything has to be COVID. Everything is not COVID, okay? So I'm like, no, I just have a headache. She's like, do you take anything for it? I was like, no, because it goes away. It only comes sometimes in the morning times when it does come, and it goes away. So then she's like, okay, well, she started asking me all these questions about high blood pressure, right? So I'm like, hold on. I said, what? First of all, I said, why do you keep asking me all these questions? I never even seen you before. She says, oh, she was like, because here it is, it's written down. So she showed me my chart. She was like, your test came back, you have high blood pressure. She showed it to me, it's written down in the chart. So I'm like, what? I said, well, I don't know. I said, I don't know about that. I said, because my doctor told me that if I had the high blood pressure, that he would give me a call. And he didn't give me a call. So I'm looking at her, with the side eye. So she's like, what, hold on. So she leaves out the office or whatever, and she goes to get the doctor. So shortly the doctor comes in, right? So they're like, the doctor's like, oh, hey, how you doing? So I'm like, hey, right? I'm looking at him. I'm like, so I says, so yeah, so what's going on, right? And he's just like, he started talking to me normal. He didn't get into what she was talking about, right away. So I'm sitting there, so I'm kind of still looking at him, with the side eye, but I'm listening to whatever he's saying. So he's like, finally, towards the end, he was like, I know she was asking you about questions about your blood pressure or whatever. She was like, he said it was written down there. He was like, but that's not, he was like, somebody made a mistake. I said, somebody made a mistake. Okay, look, we talking about health here, and I'm pregnant here. I don't think this is a mistake that should be made. So he says, listen. He said, listen, what I want you to do is I want you to go, he was like, I want you to take your own blood pressure. He was like, I want you to buy a script, and I want you to take your blood pressure daily so that you could keep account of, what your blood pressure is. If it's over 140, basically, he was like, we'll want to get you in, if you have a 140 blood pressure, maybe 2-3 days in a row, he was like, then, you give me a call, and after about 37 weeks, we'll get you induced and just, get that baby here, right? So I'm like, okay. So then he says, now this is where I go, and I'm just like, what? So he says, he was like, I've been seeing a lot on the news that, black women are, they're saying that black women die at the hands of, medical professionals, during birth. He was like, and, I don't know if that was a concern of yours, but I just seen it. And so I just want to bring it up, and I just want to let you know that, I see a lot of clients. I see different clients, and my clientele is not, my client care is not based upon a color. He was like, I give all my clients proper care. So I said, okay. So I'm just looking. I'm not saying anything, right? So I'm like, okay. He was like, so I just want you to know that, with that being said, do you have any questions or anything? Because, at this point, with that being said, that's not the thing. That's not a thing with me. He was like, I don't see colors. I just see clients. And that's not a thing with me. So what I will be doing is, I'll just be giving you a little bit extra TLC, to make sure that you know that that's not a thing. I said, okay. He said, do you have any questions? And I was like, I just told him, I said, you know what? I said, well, I'm glad you did bring that up or whatever. I said, because that actually was a concern of mine coming into it, coming into this office period, um, or coming into medical care altogether. And so he says, well, you know, our major thing is the major thing that really happens, really, with the black women. It's not about medical um, it's not about medical care, medical malfunction, or whatever. What I forgot. I can't. Don't hold that against me, guys. Uh, medical malpractice. Okay, there we go. It's not about medical malpractice. He said a lot of black women have preeclampsia, which is something. It's something that comes basically when women are pregnant, and so and it comes a lot in black people and black women, basically, especially when they're pregnant. So high blood pressure is something that is a sign that comes when you know you have preeclampsia. So he was like, that's really the problem of what happens with like the deaths of black women during pregnancy. So I was like, okay, right. But mind you, in my mind, I'm just like, I'm not feeling this dude, you know? Because first of all, I've been here for like 8 months now, and you saying you barely heard about that. You know, everyone is alive. We all see what climate it is. We all see what's going on right now. That's been out. That's been a thing. And for him to have just brought it up like on a 33rd, like 8 months into care, I just really found that a little odd. Truly. So, and then I also found it a little odd that whoever wrote down in my chart, who do I have high blood pressure or not? Because that's not a simple mistake in my book. That's amateur. Because who wrote that down? Yeah, mistakes can be made, but when we're talking about somebody's health, uh, that's not okay. That's a red flag all the way for me. That conversation was another red flag. And what killed it was, he says, your iron, he was telling me that my iron was kind of low, right? He was like, you're right on the verge of being anemic. So he was like, what I'm going to do is we're going to give you some iron, right? He was like, and we just want you to just take an iron pill every day to make sure that your iron levels, stay up to par, and that you don't get anemic, right? So I said, okay, cool. This man goes into a cabinet, okay? He goes into a cabinet, and he goes into this cabinet, right, and pulls out like 4 packages of iron. He was like, here you go. He gives me the packages of iron, right? Why was the iron expired? I got home and I seen that. I said, oh, hell no. I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. I said, I will not be staying here in this care. I said, because that's too many red flags. First of all, you started talking to me. It's okay that, whatever, but it's not okay. You, on the 33rd, you started talking to me about why black people die, and, if I had any concerns. Like, that's like out the blue. I know you've been seeing that. To me, it was a red flag. Secondly, somebody running my chart that I have high blood pressure. Do I have it or not? Because that's something you need to know, and that's an amateur mistake. Red flag number 2. And then you give me expired iron pills? No. So at that point, I said, you know what? I don't want to be in this care. And you know what? Furthermore, I don't want to go to the hospital. I do not want to be in COVID hospital. I don't want to be in the hospital. One thing about it is they rush you. They rush you, the doctors, they rush you to, sometimes they even rush you and induce you and tell you that you need a C-section, and you really don't. It's because sometimes the doctors they want to get off. they want to hurry up and go do something else or whatever. So they want to hurry up with you so they could just get, be done with you and just get up out of there. And it's just a lot of rushing. This is my second child. My daughter is 18 years old. So, my, I haven't did this since in 18 years. So I wanted a new experience. So what I did was, this was last month, like I was like at my 33 week mark. I just was like, you know what? I went and did some research, and I was like, you know what? I want to have experience with the midwife with this pregnancy. I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm cool on just being here and being in the hospital care. I want to do the midwifery route. So hold on. So I found a midwife, and I started care with them. Like, I immediately changed my healthcare provider, and like that same day, once I called them up and I seen if they had openings. So it's a holistic birthing center, and the place is called Peer Birth, and I'm really just, I've only went twice, but I'm really just liking the care. I'm seeing the same midwife, at least for my care, and of course, this is one of the biggest centers. I live in Los Angeles County, so it's one of the biggest midwifery centers in the county, and with their schedule, of course, they have different midwives that will be on call during the time of my pregnancy. So, but thus far, I've went a couple of times already, and I'm just liking I'm liking the personable, the more personable interaction, with the midwives, and getting to know the midwives. Another reason why I chose the birthing center was because I wanted a more, a non-rush situation. And my philosophy is this at this point. A lot of people are not people, but women. They're really programmed, and they feel like going to a birthing center, because a birthing center, this will be unmedicated, right? I will be getting no epidural, no any of that stuff, right? Totally unmedicated, a natural birth. So a lot of women are like, some ladies that I've talked to, they're like, when I tell them, they're like, oh my God, oh girl, oh my God, you're gonna die. Oh, it's gonna be so painful. Oh, it's gonna be this and that, blah, 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 right? I had to stop talking to people, honestly, because yeah, it's gonna be challenging, but I'm open. I'm up for it. Because honestly, before, in the beginning of time, when we were when people were Neanderthals here, there was no hospital, okay? And even when there was a hospital in the beginning, blacks people were not able to go to the hospital, right? So we always had our babies at home from the beginning. And now, now we've been integrated into the hospital system for a while, right? But now we get, now there is a lot of medical malpractice that takes place with black women, period. But that's another video. I'm not going to go into that right now, maybe another time. But, women are just really programmed. And since they're like, oh, you need an epidural. No, you don't. I feel like, honestly, that our body is made for this, because God wouldn't have made us to be able to have a baby if we couldn't do it, right? So our bodies are made for this, so I'm ready to do this unassisted. And also another reason why I want to do natural and midwifery is also because I feel like this is going to be like a spiritual thing, for me. I want an unrushed situation. Last time I had an epidural, they were like rushing me. They were like, I went to sleep. Took the epidural and I went to sleep. They woke me up. They were like, wait, get up, hurry up. Come on, it's time to push right now. And they were like rushing me. And then I pushed and then I tore, right? I had a tear in my vagina. What people don't know is you don't necessarily have to tear. It's because of being rushed. I was pushing so hard. Being rushed, I tore. Babies are naturally moving. When you are having contractions and when you're pregnant and when you're having in labor and you're having contractions, your baby is already naturally moving down the canal. Already. Naturally making strides and moving. You don't really have to breathe that hard, to be honest. And that's, you guys could look that up and you guys could do your own research on that. But anybody who, has done research, they know exactly what I'm saying. Any midwifery or doula or whatever will tell you. So, this time I just want to take my time, and let my baby come out, in his time, basically. And I do want to do a water birth. So the water I love the water because I love baths. When I'm in pain now, I hop in a bath, and the water helps relieve. It's something about, the gravity, less gravity, the pull of it in the water. It's something that definitely does help me relieve my aches and pains when I am in pain, right? So, yeah, midwifery is what I'm doing. And I definitely will be keeping a diary of everything that I have going on with this pregnancy. My next video will just be about I'll probably do like, my hospital bag or something like that. But we'll see. I just but I'm definitely going to be doing a live diary. This will be my diary. This will be my channel. And hopefully the world opens back up. We'll see. I'll be showing more things and more events. But we'll see, as time goes by. But so I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed my story and what I will be bringing to this channel. And you guys, I want you to subscribe and hit that notification button on the channel. And thank you for watching. Until the next video, I'll see you then.